Train the muscles, not the joints.
So welcome back to Natural Gallant Bodybuilding, and today I'm going to go up in the woods and let's go for a ride or whatever, and I'm going to talk about some subjects as I get up there. And yeah, it'll be a little bit darker. We're losing the light a little bit here, but I'm just feeling the move towards the forest, the magical forest. Yeah, so, but I am going to talk to you a little bit about eating. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about eating and the importance of eating, and a lot of people are talking about intermittent fasting all the time. And I know that there's different ways to do it. Some people make sure they get all their calories within a couple meals or a certain window of time. They get all their calories in. And although this might work for some people, it never worked for me. And I find that it's really hard for me to shovel in a lot of food within a short period of time, to not eat for a whole day or, 12 hours or 6 hours or whatever the heck it is, right? But the bottom line is that I've found that I get a lot more results when I really pay attention to my eating and I eat a lot more protein. So lately, and this is funny, okay? So I'm going to upload 2 different videos. One video is a full day of eating. I'm going to be uploading pretty soon, and that's like off-season eating. But lately I've actually been trying to cut a little bit, and I've increased my protein and lowered my carbs down a bit. And I've been taking in way more protein because of it. And then of course people are coming up to me in the gym and asking me like, "Wait, geez, you're looking so pumped. What happened?"
Some different shots for you. Check out the pocket too.
One more set. Well, that's kind of the funny thing, right? Sometimes you only need a certain amount of carbs, but too much carbs, and it's almost like you're not feeding the muscle enough. So this is something I found with my own body. I don't know why this is, but that seems to happen. So lately I've been doing a lot more protein and just 1 or 2 or maybe 3 carb meals a day. And I still have my non-fat mochas here and there, so I'm not on a hardcore cut. Of course, if I was really hardcore cutting, then I'd be cutting the mochas out, cutting out any sort of milk or skim milk and stuff. But the bottom line is that I'm having more protein and a little bit less carbs, and I'm eating throughout the day, and I'm eating more often, and I'm eating more, and my pump went through the roof. And here's an example with bench press is what happened. From the previous way I was eating, which was still, 140 grams of protein a day, 150 grams of protein a day, I was still getting in the 150 grams of protein a day, and then having carbs every single meal. And then here's what happened when I upped my protein even more so to around 220 grams, 250, and here's what my bench press workout looked like. So you can just measure right here. I just was more pumped, more recovered. So I think it just depends on the person, and I think it depends on how you process your macros maybe. I don't know, maybe it's something to do with blood type, all that kind of stuff. But the bottom line is, when I really force-fed myself more protein, and I had some protein shakes and everything, this is what happens in my workout. Yeah, so making sure you have enough to eat really makes a difference, right? If you have enough protein, and this is going to be different for each person. And I think there's general parameters like the 1 gram per pound of body weight, but I think depending on your makeup and your constitution, it might depend on what percentage of macros you need in order to have the most energy from your workouts. So I'm 4x4ing right now. I'm going up these roads and stuff like that, but just so you know, I did bring my lunch. So here, I'll show it to you. Right here, see, have it in here. Have some chicken breast. See a little pack here? Little pack with my chicken breast here. And then I have some broccoli and chicken in there. So take this off and then right there. See some chicken and broccoli. So you can see I'm making sure that I eat my food and making sure I get my protein in. So that way when I'm going on these little road trips or something like that, I'm making sure that I'm stocked up. I also have some protein powder in a cup with me and some water. So yeah, very important, right? Very important to have consistent eating. One thing I've tried to do over the years, sorry, my exposure's probably off there because I'm right in direct sunlight. So let's go back here. Let's see what this is like. One thing I've noticed over the years is that when I consistently eat protein all the time, and I really have this focus all through the day, and then a couple meals with carbs or a few meals with carbs, when I make sure I really hit a higher amount of protein, it does seem to make a difference. But I heard Sasquatch. It does really seem to make a difference in how I function in the gym and what kind of pump I have. So like I said, people have been coming up to me, what are you doing? We're so much more pumped. What's happening? It's all I did was increase my protein. And when you increase the protein intake, sometimes it is the magic bullet, right? You need to have enough protein. And if you don't have enough, then you'll notice that your muscles are almost flat and stuff. So it doesn't matter how much carbs you have. If your body's already filled up with carbs, then the next thing is nitrogen balance. You need to have extra nitrogen in the muscle. So there's a point of diminishing return. So if you're getting the runs and all this, I mean, obviously you're having too much protein.
Too big.
Too big.
Too big, like a mountain.
Bigger than a mountain. Mountain. Suck. All right.
Mountain.
Hey, mountain's all thinks it's all cool, all snowy and shit. Hey, being all snowy and stuff. I don't like show-offs. Show-offs. But I find that some of the guidelines are sometimes conservative in what you need to eat in order to gain muscle, because you need to eat the amount of protein that your body needs in order to put on that extra muscle. It's not about maintenance protein. Maintenance protein is different than gaining muscle protein. And I think that's kind of the thing I'm revisiting right now. I'm kind of seeing, okay, what is it I need to do? And I'm always open to changing things up, right? So some people, they get stuck in one way that worked before, but at the same time, your body's always changing. There's always different things going on with your body. So it's important for you to consider that as you're changing or making changes to your diet, making changes to your training program, and that sort of thing. So yeah, I'm noticing that higher protein right now is making a bigger difference in how much muscle I'm putting on, even though I'm kind of doing a cut. So yeah, sometimes you make these funny discoveries just by accident. Okay, let's continue driving here. You're lucky you get the air down quickly. I don't have that technique down yet. I just rattle my vertebrae until they're pretty much falling out of my back, and then So I decided to follow this Tyler guy and his wife up the road here, thinking that everything was going to go pretty smoothly and I was going to get the rest of my YouTube video done. I was going to do all these different clips for you guys because there's going to be lots of daylight and no problem talking about diet, talking about getting enough protein in and how much it can affect your workouts in a positive way. And that was my goal. I mean, I was just going to go up here and just talk about that subject, but kind of like most writers, when they write a book, sometimes they start writing a fiction novel of some sort and they start with one genre and then it turns out to be another. So sorry guys, this turned out to be a 4x4 video along with you know, an inconvenience video of what happens when a person goes 4x4ing for the first time. So, Exhibit A. So yeah, just in the truck driving down the lug road. Lost the GoPro just a little bit ago, so I'm on the GoPro right now, so just forgive the shitty sound. But this is a really convenient way to show you some of the side views. It's beautiful, the trees and everything. A lake. Mountains. You knew the mountain was coming. You knew I was going to talk to you about the mountain. So, a nice beach down there. So I'm going to take you up to the hot springs. I'm going to take a look at these hot springs. You can actually just jump in. They're like ready-made sort of hot springs. You can kind of jump in, take a bath. I probably need one, but I don't know if I'll take it. But it's a little cold outside, but you never know, man. I might get down to the shorts and get in there. You never know. It actually might be a good experience. We'll see what happens. I've never been up there before, so this is the first time. So first time for everything, I guess. So yeah, this is kind of fun. So I'm glad I have enough protein for the trip, right? Preparation, right? Preparation is key. You have to make sure you have food with you. If you're planning on being a bodybuilder, especially if you're planning on cutting or doing anything like that, you have to make sure you have the food with you. If you don't have the food with you, by the time you work out, you're not going to be really able to train the same way. Like, so if your muscles are filled up with protein and glycogen, then you're going to be able to work them harder, and therefore they'll get bigger because you'll be able to train them harder, and at the same time they're going to have the material, the raw material that is needed in order for them to adapt, right? So that's why it's important to make sure you're eating, right? A lot of times people are cutting, but they're just cutting calories all the time. Well, sometimes, it's not as simple as just cutting calories, cutting body fat. A lot of time it's more about feeding the muscles as much as you can, and at the same time not feeding the fat stores. And there's just this critical balance that you have to find for yourself in order to be able to get that sweet spot in your diet. Can't imagine doing this in a car. There's no freaking way. I mean, you could do it, but maybe you could do it, but you probably get stuck here and there and get your tires and your shocks just totally driven out of your car, like this kind of stuff. It's pretty brutal. Wow. I had no idea this existed on the other side of the lake. Neat. There's some houses there and some cabins, tractors and stuff in the background. Logging companies, right? Logging road, I guess. Nice. So I'll continue to tell two stories at once. This is where I thought, hey, I'm almost at the hot springs. Not going to be too much longer. It's only about an hour and a half up there. No problem, right? I know it's winter time, but yeah, the road seems pretty good. It's a little bit icy, but no problem. It should be a snap. I'll be back in time. My wife won't worry about me. No problem. Yeah, I was a little bit wrong about that. Not totally wrong, but I definitely underestimated the amount of time it was going to get up there. So thank God I had the protein with me, because I would have been starved. And you know what that means, right? If you start starving yourself, you're going to lose your muscle much faster than your fat stores. So that's another reasons why I don't really believe in intermittent fasting for me, because anytime I went for long periods of time without eating protein or eating carbs and protein, the first thing that went on me was my muscle, not my fat. Okay, so some of you guys out there are like, oh no, it's clinically proven. Well, yeah, maybe it is proven for some people to work, but man, it doesn't work for me. I lose my muscle, lose my pump. I go to the gym, I look like, like droopy dog ears, when the dogs are sad, those beagles and stuff, how their ears droop. That's how my muscles look when I actually don't eat for a long period of time. So that said, at least I had enough food with me on the way. If you don't mind, I'm just showing 4x4 footage instead of just training footage all the time. I figure you guys are getting kind of bored of just seeing training footage all the time. So, hey, this is something different. So you see me go up this steep hill, and this is kind of where everything kind of goes downhill. You see these bumps, like they're massive. Like, it's amazing how hard this was to get up here. But I was pretty impressed with this Forerunner. So now I know why so many people are in love with Toyota Forerunners, because they seem to be really good. I mean, I didn't even have to go on four-wheel drive low until later. I got stuck only once. and that was because of really deep snow at the same time as ice and everything. So I had to, lock the diff and everything in order to get out then. But otherwise, I was actually pretty good. So as you're watching my expert driving here, I will explain to you why you might need more than 1 gram per pound of body weight for protein in some cases. I mean, it depends on your metabolism and everything, but just as you can see from the bench press workout, how my reps went up significantly when I increased my protein and actually lowered my carbs, which does not make any sense, but that's what happened. My pump went through the roof, my endurance went through the roof, and my physique actually looked better and I felt better. So I think it will depend. So you're gonna have to mess around with your protein intake. Some people say, oh, it's just the best to have, only 100 grams for a 200-pound person. They're saying it just low amount of protein is the best. But some people, I think, might need more than 1 gram per pound of lean body weight. So say I'm 150 pounds totally lean, like or 170 with 0% body fat, or 175, whatever it is, right? I don't know, probably 180 maybe, I don't know, something like that. But say I needed about 150 to 160 grams of protein for sure. That's about 0.8 grams per lean pound of body weight. Well, maybe I need 200, maybe I need 220 in order to really hit my maximum potential in the gym. So you have to bear this in mind. So don't be afraid to experiment a little bit and see, and just go by your performance in the gym, because your performance will tell you, and the way you feel in the gym will also tell you what is happening in your body. And if you're feeling more pumped, you're getting more performance, more endurance, well, that's a sure sign that you're in an anabolic stage. So your body is benefiting from that diet. So this is pretty awesome. I'm just driving up here in the snow here, and this Toyota FORERUNNER, I have to say, I mean, this is not necessarily about bodybuilding or anything, but this Toyota FORERUNNER is 10 times better in the snow and off-road than I thought. I'm not really much of an experienced 4x4er, but it's crazy what this thing can get through. I mean, the Dodge Durango in front of me is having trouble sometimes and getting a little bit stuck, but I'm just like not even having to take a different path, just straight over things and stuff. It's pretty amazing. So seeing as we were about 20 minutes away from the hot springs, based on conditions, we're not really sure. It might have been half an hour or less. I don't know. So I wasn't sure. I'd never been up there before. I decided, because of the conditions and it was so hard to turn around, and because it was so late and I was supposed to be back at the house, basically in 1 hour, and it took me 2 hours to get to this point, I didn't want to risk going up there and getting stuck and getting home too late and then the search and rescue coming out for me or something like that. So I decided to turn around. So Tyler helped me turn around here, and then I started my way down the road, and he was nice enough to say, hey, honk when you go through this riverbed. So yeah, you're going to see me hit this riverbed pretty soon here, and that was the big relief when I got through that. But boy, it was noisy because it was nothing but icebergs in the water when I hit. So it's pretty loud. So anyway, yeah, just tune into this. Now the audio on my GoPro just didn't do it justice, because when I went through that river, those ice chunks were about a foot thick, and when they hit the skid plate, it was so loud. I was like, what the hell happened? I actually pulled over and checked to see if there's something wrong, just to make sure I didn't screw anything up. But yeah, it was definitely a kind of a weird first drive for me, because I've been up 4x4ing, but not necessarily this deep on a 4x4 trail. And of course, this one is a little bit rougher than I'm used to, right? That was a little rough. That was a little bit rough through that ice patch there. Thank God for the skid plate. So obviously I made it home, seeing as I actually made this video. So yeah, you know I made it home. So spoiler alert. Sorry about that. But let me know if you guys like this kind of 4x4 footage. I'll do more of it. If you want me to show you just road footage and stuff and music, then I'll do that too. And like I said, I'll give you some workout tips along the way as well, just to change things up a little bit. I'm always trying to just change things up and see what you guys like, and sometimes it makes it fun to create different things in different ways anyway. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said, if you want to increase your protein intake and lower your carbs, it doesn't necessarily mean that's not bodybuilder friendly. So really my point to making this video is a few different things. I'll stutter some more. It's a few different things. It's basically making sure that you have the right ratio of food in your diet, and don't be afraid to experiment, because you might need more protein in relationship to the carbs, and maybe you're a person that needs more carbs. I don't know, but I've found just through my own experiments that a little bit higher ratio of protein works best for me. The other reason why I'm making this video is to remind you that eating is the best way to gain strength and muscle, because if you don't eat, you cannot do it. So any strongman will tell you, eating is one of the first and foremost things they have to do all day long in order to gain strength. So it's not just the training. If you're training but the eating's not there, you will not gain. And that's an important thing to remember. This is turning out a lot different than I thought. Yeah, I'm still about an hour and a half away from home, so a lot of driving to go. So thanks a lot for watching. If you need to get a hold of me, just go to naturalgallantbodybuilding.com, and thanks a lot to the Patreon supporters who help support this channel, and take care for now.